Hello everybody. This is my first time trying live yoga over a screen, so bear with me. I'm glad that I could do this today, and I have some people here on Zoom and I have some people here on Facebook, so welcome. This is really cool. Yeah, I don't know how everybody's feeling, but I've definitely been feeling unsettled this week with everything going on, and I knew that doing this and teaching would help me feel better, and hopefully it'll help you as well. So super excited. If you're just joining me, we're going to do a gentle yoga practice today. You can come in and join me for a bit and then leave, or you can stay for the entire practice. I'm planning on moving for about an hour here, so you don't need to have anything special, maybe just a mat or something sticky to sit on or to stand on. We will start either seated. If you're feeling like you need to lie down and lie flat, please do that. Lie on your back, recline back, take a few breaths. And if you're feeling like maybe you want to come into child's pose instead to start, that's also a great option. I'm going to start on my seat and start by connecting with some breath. Hopefully you can hear me and you can see me wherever it is that you are. So if you need to, take a moment to clear out your breath, a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And for this breath practice, you're welcome to keep your eyes open, or you could close your eyes if that feels okay for you. If you'd like to bring your hands to your belly and your heart, or both hands over your heart, and feel your breath moving into your belly and chest, you can also move your hands away from your lap. Take some deep breaths here. If you've just joined us on Zoom, can you please just press mute so that we don't hear the background noise? That would be great, thank you. And we're just finding our breath right now, whether that's on your seat, whether you're lying down, perhaps you're in child's pose. And just reminding those that have joined us on the Zoom meeting, if you can just press mute on the Zoom so that we don't hear you in the background, that'd be great. Thank you. And as you're connecting to your breath, you could breathe in and out through your nose. You could breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if you're a little bit congested, just breathing in and out gently through your mouth. And as you're breathing here, noticing your body, noticing where your breath's moving into your belly, into your chest. Maybe just notice your legs on the ground. If you're seated, your sit bones. If you're in child's pose, maybe your hands and your forehead on the floor. Just take a moment to come into your body. If your mind is very busy, as mine has been this week, see if you can keep just coming back to your breath as you notice your thoughts coming back in. And we'll just spend a few more breaths in this way here. And if you decided to close your eyes, or if you're in child's pose, or if you're lying down on your back, just take a moment or two to gently open up your eyes, to maybe make a little bit of movement here. And then begin to make your way up onto your seat. If it's comfortable to sit cross-legged, you can do that. If it's not comfortable to sit cross-legged, you could extend your legs forward in front of you or a little bit wider as well. And then as you come up to your seat, take your shoulders back a few times here, rolling your shoulders back and down, coming back to your breath. And if you can place your fingertips on the floor beside you, go ahead and do that. And maybe bring your chin down towards your chest if that feels okay. Take a couple of breaths here, maybe noticing your breath moving up into your shoulder blades, up into your upper back. And I invite you to stay here in the center, or if you like, you can begin to move your left ear over towards your left shoulder, or maybe even your chin over towards your shoulder. And begin to lengthen down through the right side of your neck. Take a couple deep breaths here. My cat will be wandering around, I'm sure. He loves it when I practice yoga, so you might notice him popping in and off my mat here tonight. And when you're ready, bringing your chin back towards your chest. And maybe over to the other side again, if that's feeling okay for you here. Lengthening down through your left side. Coming back to your breathing, breathing up into your collarbones. Breathing up into the left side of your neck. And just taking a couple more breaths here. And finding your own rhythm with your breath. And just as you're ready, bringing your chin back towards your chest. And you could keep your head here in the center if you'd like to move from side to side gently. Maybe taking your chin or your ear over towards your right side or your left side and then over to your right. And moving at your own pace, which may be quicker or slower than my pace here. And we'll just do this one more time on each side. Remembering to come back to your breath. And we'll just finish off on the other side and coming back towards the center. And when you're ready, beginning to move your chin back away from your chest. Take an inhale, reach your arms up overhead if that's comfortable for your shoulders, and exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. And we're going to connect this little bit of movement with our breath. You can also maybe move your hands up just part way, and then exhale, bring your hands back down. If it's not comfortable to bring your hands overhead. When you're ready, inhaling. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And one more time like that. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Interlacing your hands at your heart. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, push your palms forward. If it feels okay, round your spine back. Bring your chin towards your chest. And if it's okay from here, taking your next breath in and reach your palms up overhead. And then exhale, pushing your palms forward, rounding your spine back. Upper back moves back. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale. This time as we pause, we're going to pause, reaching forward. Maybe move a little bit side to side if that's comfortable for you. Or be pausing here in the center, coming back to your breathing. And then when your next inhale comes around, extend your arms up overhead. You can part your hands or keep them interlaced and maybe move a couple times here side to side, either hands interlaced or arms parted, creating a little bit of length through your sides. And just as you're ready, bringing your arms back down, maybe circling your shoulders out a couple more times here. Good. We're going to come off of our seats and we're going to move into tabletop. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips here. If it's not comfortable to have your knees on the floor, you can come back to the seated, where we weren't seated, and move as we just were here. When you're ready, taking your next exhale, round your spine, maybe moving your chin towards your chest here, and then take your inhale to arch your spine, maybe lift your head, lift your chest. We're going to move with our own breath, so finding your own rhythm. If it feels comfortable for you to close your eyes here, close your eyes. And maybe connect into your body. Notice your hands on the floor, your knees connected to the ground. Notice where your breath's moving, maybe where your breath's not moving. Seeing if you can move your breath up into your heart space. Allow some movement to come into your heart center. We'll just take 2 more breaths in this way. And final breath here. And when you're ready, coming back to center, I'm going to move to child's pose. So child's pose might not be comfortable for your knees. You could come back to seated. In child's pose, you could extend your arms forward here, bring your forehead to the ground, or make a pillow with your hands and place your forehead on your hands. Connecting back into your breath, you're breathing up into the back of your body. And we'll stay here for 3 more breaths. And 2 more breaths. And last breath here. And as you're ready, making your way back up to tabletop. And I should have mentioned at any point if what I'm offering isn't working for you, make your way into something that does. It could be onto your seat, onto your back, back into child's pose. So just really trust in your body's wisdom here and what it is that you need right now. So we're going to create a little bit of movement and balance. Coming back to tabletop, this time drop through your core a little bit. Extend your right leg back behind you. Your toes could also be placed onto the ground instead. If not, lift your ankle in line with your hip, and you can keep both hands planted here, or if you'd like, you could extend your left arm forward. So opposite arm to your leg extended back. Take a couple deep breaths here. At any point, you can move and come back to tabletop. And 1 more breath. And when you're ready, bringing your hand and knee back down to the ground, and take a moment to pause, or you can move through cat and cow, this movement here, inhaling and exhaling, creating a little bit of movement through your spine. And then as you come back to center, coming to the other side, extending your left leg back. You can pause here with both hands on the ground, or you could extend your right arm forward, connecting to your breath, and drawing up through your core. Feel your center here supporting you. Coming back to your breath. Just to spend 2 more breaths here. And remember, you can always come back to tabletop at any point. And as you're ready, coming back to tabletop, we'll spend a few more breaths in child's pose. 5 breaths here, sending your hips back towards your heels, maybe bringing your hands underneath your forehead, or you could extend your arms forward here. As you're ready, we'll make our way back up to tabletop. I'm just going to turn around so I'm facing the opposite direction that I was on my mat. But when you're ready, stepping your right foot forward, maybe giving it a little bit of support here. Now, if you have a blanket, or you can even just fold your mat over from the side and place your knee on the folded up part for a little bit more support, especially if you're feeling like having your knee on the ground is a little bit too much here. If you can stay low if you like, or bring your hands up to your front leg and check to see if your front knee is over your ankle here. Shoulders back, maybe hanging out here. You can bring your hands to heart center, hands to your hips. If anyone would like to take their arms overhead, go ahead and bring your arms up overhead and connect into your breath here as well. If not, bringing your hands maybe back towards your hips. We're going to spend a few more breaths here in a low lunge. Each time you exhale, see if you can soften your shoulder blades onto your back, maybe soften your jaw, or any other place that you might be holding onto tension. I know I've had a bit of a headache this week, just feeling the tension in my neck, in my shoulders. And when your next exhale comes, bring your hands down. Stay in the lunge position here, keeping your left hand down, your right foot's forward, opposite if your left foot's forward. Place your right hand on your right leg and turn towards your front leg. So we're going to take a little bit of a twist here. You're more than welcome to pause and stay here. You can also bring your hand to your hip or extend your arm up towards the ceiling. And just notice how your shoulder feels there. You could come back with your hand on your front leg. Coming back and take 3 more breaths here. And when your next exhale comes, bring your hands down. We're going to slide our right foot back here, and we're going to take those same poses on the other side. So stepping your left foot forward. So starting in a low lunge, you can keep both hands down on the ground. You can bring your hands up to your front leg. Maybe bring your hands to your hips. And again, of course, if you like, extending your arms up overhead, try to soften your shoulder blades onto your back, shoulders away from your ears, connecting to your breath here. See if you can soften maybe the space between your eyebrows. Take 3 more deep breaths here. When your next exhale comes, place your hands down. This time your right hand stays down. You can always walk your left foot a little wider as well. Place your left hand on your left leg and gently turn and twist towards your left leg here. And you can stay here, or you can bring your hand to your hip, or you can extend your arm up towards the ceiling, wherever it is that you are, connecting back to your breath here. We'll just spend a couple more breaths here. And as you exhale, hands come down. We're going to go all the way back to tabletop. We're going to spend a few breaths here in child's pose, if that's where you'd like to be, or you can come to your seat for a few breaths. As you exhale, clearing out any heavy energy, anything that feels weighty, heavy. Notice your thoughts. See if you can come back to your breath. Bring yourself back into your body. So I'm going to rise and come back up to tabletop. Now, I'm going to offer downward facing dog as an option. You can take it or you can leave it. If you're going to come to downward facing dog, tuck your toes, move your hips up and back, and try to find some space across your chest. If you're not coming into downward dog, you can come into child's pose, or you could walk your hands back towards your knees, roll up onto your feet, and take a forward fold here. So either with your elbows above your knees, or maybe grabbing opposite elbows here. If you are in downward facing dog, whenever it is that you feel ready, you're going to make your way into that standing forward fold. And if you want to spend maybe about 4 or 5 more breaths in downward dog, you could start to walk it out a little bit here. Bend one knee and send the opposite heel towards the floor. Give yourself a clearing breath into your nose, and then maybe exhale through your mouth, clear it out, let go of some of that tension. And just in the next couple breaths, whether you're in down dog or child's pose, make your way into a standing forward fold with your knees slightly bent, and let your head relax, maybe let your arms hang as well. Coming back to your breath here, and in this first forward fold, I often like to move a little bit, so you could sway from your left foot to your right foot. You can move from your heels to your toes. any little bits of movement with your upper body. Maybe shake your head out a little bit here as well. We're going to spend about 5 more breaths here. If at any point this isn't comfortable, you're just going to come all the way up to standing. And just 2 more breaths here. Now, option to place your hands on your hips and press through your legs and rise to stand. Or if you'd like, take a few breaths to bend your knees, press through your legs, and ragdoll yourself up to stand, 1 vertebrae at a time, rising as you come up. Lift your head up last, roll your shoulders back, maybe circle them back a few times here. Feels good. All right, so we're going to take a wide stance on our mats. I'm going to turn to face you here, but you can face in whatever direction you'd like. Start with your right foot turning towards the small edge of your mat, the shorter length. And then begin to bend into your right knee. We're going to come into Warrior One, extending out through your arms. We're just going to spend a couple breaths here in Warrior One. Back leg is straight. Feel the anchoring and the rooting of your legs. So really feel the ground underneath you. We're going to reach forward, place your back hand to your back hip, lightly place your front elbow to your front leg, and we're going to make a little bit of a twist and turn here. This is side angle pose for those of you that know that. You can come into any variation here that serves you with your arms. So your upper arm can be reaching over your ear, fingertips forward. You can have your hand up towards the ceiling or your hand on your hip. We're just going to take a couple more breaths here in side angle pose. And then from here, we're going to gently press down and rise. Come up, straighten out your front leg. Take your arms out. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to again reach forward, this time with both legs straight. Back hand again comes back to your hip. Bring your front hand down to your shin or to the inside of your front leg for triangle pose. Feel the rooting of both legs here, and again, maybe reaching up towards the ceiling with your back hand, or keep your hand on your hip. And then inhale to rise and come back up. Turn both feet towards the long edge of your mat, and this time we're going to turn our left foot to the smaller edge of our mat. Bend into your left knee for Warrior One here, arms reaching out, just a breath or 2. We're going to reach forward for side angle, back hand to your hip, elbow lightly on your front leg, shoulders rolling back, and again, you can keep your hand on your hip. You can extend your arm up towards the ceiling or reach forward, shoulders back, connect to your breath here. And inhale to rise, straightening out your front leg. Triangle pose, reach forward, back hand can start on your back hip. Place your hand on your shin or to the inside of your front leg, and you could always reach up here with your back hand as well. Take a couple more breaths. And inhale, come all the way up. Turn both feet towards the long edge of your mat again. So we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. Take a little bend to your knees here. Take a little bit of a lift through your spine. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to forward fold. As you fold in, you could release your hands to the floor. You could also let your head release a little bit more here. In this pose, lately I've been exploring a little bit of movement from side to side, bending one knee, leaning to that side. Sometimes I lift up my heels one at a time or both at the same time. You can explore some movement, or you can just hang out here in the center, connecting to your breath. Give yourself a couple clearing breaths here, in through your nose and out through your mouth if you like. when you're ready, placing your hands down, lengthening through your spine. Little bend to your knees, bring your hands to your hips or hands to your upper legs and press down to rise. Come all the way up. We're going to walk our feet in towards one another. Maybe shake that out a little bit here. And then turn towards the front or the shorter edge of your mat again for a moment, coming to mountain pose. When your next breath comes, reach your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, we're going to fold forward and come all the way down into our standing forward fold. This time, place your hands to the front of your shins, straightening your arms, finding a little length through your spine as you inhale. And then exhale, folding yourself back in. And one more time like that. Take an inhale, lifting up about halfway. Exhale, fold back in. And then take a big step back with your right foot, left foot's forward. You can walk your hands back here. Try to plant through your back heel. And try to bring both your legs as straight as you can. You could stay lifted up partway here. You could begin to bend in and fold in, finding some length through the backs of your legs here. Two more breaths. One more breath. And when you're ready, begin to lift up about halfway. Walk yourself forward, step forward back into your forward fold, and then take your other foot and step it back. So ideally both heels are planted on the ground, hips are facing forward. You could support your hands. Some of you might have blocks. You can place blocks underneath your hands. And you can stay lifted up here, or you could begin to fold in. If your legs are really tight, you will still have a bend in your front knee, or a slight bend anyways, or a lot of a bend, depending on how tight you are. And take a few more breaths here. Let your head relax. Maybe bring your chin down towards your chest. And when you're ready, lifting up about halfway, walking your hands forward, stepping both feet forward, taking a forward fold here, and maybe taking a clearing breath again. Deep breath in through your nose, and then clear it out through your mouth. So this time, we're going to step our right foot back, left foot stays forward, plant your heel, and come to stand up. We're going to come into Warrior One just for a moment, bending into your front knee. And anchoring through your back heel, lift your upper body, roll your shoulders back. Your hands can come to heart center. We're going to offer up goddess arms. It looks like this. Elbows in line with your shoulders, shoulders rolling back and open across the front of your chest. Take a couple deep breaths here into your heart space. When your exhale comes, straighten out your front leg. Again, we're going to fold forward and down. We're going to really get some length into the back of our legs here. Folding in if that's okay for you, or staying up, lifted up about halfway. Two more breaths. Now this time you can step right into your forward fold. I'm going to offer another option. You could walk your hands forward, lift your back leg up so that your hips are square, and fold in. We call this standing splits, but it looks more like Warrior 3, especially in me. There's no way that my leg's going to get up any higher, or not much higher. And then when you're ready, you're going to step forward, back into your forward fold. This is a good time to give yourself a clearing breath in through your nose, and then exhale. And maybe one more time. We're going to switch sides. Stepping your left foot back, we're going to rise up for Warrior One first. So hands to your hips. Bend into your front knee. Take your arms wide, maybe into cactus arms, or you can place your hands on your hips, elbows drawing in, either one. We're just going to take a couple more breaths here. And when your next exhale comes, begin to straighten out your front leg, folding over your front leg here again. and bowing in. This is pyramid pose. A few more breaths. Finding some length in the back of your legs, maybe up into your hips, into your sit bones, into your glutes. Again, you can step right into your forward fold here or lift your back leg up, and we're just going to get a little bit more length here through the back of our legs by doing this. And just whenever you're ready, stepping both feet forward. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider here apart. Maybe give a little bit of a sway or shake out your head a little bit here. Create a little bit of movement. And take a couple clearing breaths here again as you need. When you're ready, we're going to step back into a lunge again. This time, right foot forward, left foot steps back, and place your back knee on the ground. Now, you're going to walk your right foot a little wider if that's okay. Bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. I'm just going to turn to face forward for this one so you can see where I'm at. So, foot forward, hands come on the inside. You can scoot your back leg back if it's okay. You're going to get a bit of a stretch through your hip flexor here. Try to line up your front knee over your ankle. If your knee's popping really forward of your ankle here, you're going to load up your knees. So just give that front foot a little scoot forward. Now, some of you might stay here. If you have a bolster or blocks or something to support you, you could always come down to your forearms on them, or you can come onto your forearms on the ground. Not always comfortable, but you could move a little bit side to side. You could hang out here. You could bring your chin towards your chest. Ultimately, we're going to stay here for a little bit of time. So coming back to your breath, connecting into your breath. So I've got some people here on Zoom. We've got some people on Facebook. This is all new to me. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. Technology though, how wonderful, connecting all of us. So we're just going to spend maybe about 5 or 6 more breaths here. Try to relax through your shoulders. I like to make a little bit of movement. You could, if your back knee's on the ground here, you could always lift your back knee too. Sometimes moving from your heel back to your toe, side to side, whatever works for you. Now, before we come out of this form, I'm going to get you to send your hips back and walk your front foot in a little bit and lift the bottom of your foot. Now, try to keep a bend in your front knee here, just a little bit anyways. And you should feel that through the back of your leg, or at least you should. If you don't, well, that's pretty awesome for you. But anyways, I won't make too many jokes here on Facebook today. Folding in, letting your head release if that's comfortable for you. Connecting into your breath. And as you're ready, begin to bring your front leg back. Now, any kind of movement, maybe a little bit of a walk out and down dog, maybe some hip circles here, or maybe coming back into child's pose. I'm going to give you about 6 to 8 breaths here. So again, it could look like some movement in downward dog. It could be some movement through cat and cow, but coming into child's pose maybe for a portion of that time as well. Maybe noticing the rhythm of your breathing here. Just 2 more breaths. So coming back up to tabletop. I'm going to turn around and face you again here. This time our left foot is forward, hands to the inside. Again, front knees over your ankle. If you have room to scoot your back knee back, your back knee could be off the ground if you prefer. And you could also make some movement here side to side if that feels all right. And some of you may be able to come down onto your forearms. Eek! It's a little tight today, those hips. Connecting into your breath wherever it is that you are. Sometimes it's really nice to sigh out through your breathing, with your breathing. Last night I was feeling quite anxious with everything going on, and I even just rolled my mat out and laid on my mat and was breathing. Very little movement, but really helped to find some grounding, to connect back to my body, because I was feeling very scattered. So it's nice to be able to move your body, but if you don't have the luxury of that, being in a Zoom or Facebook opportunity right now, then lying down on your floor, connecting to your breath for 5 or 10 minutes was really helpful. I'm just going to spend a few more breaths here. If you'd like to lift your back knee up, you could always move a little bit. You can move side to side, forward or back. Just going to take a few more breaths. Now, as we come out of here, you're going to press down, move your hips back, walk your front foot in a little bit here. Lift the bottom of your foot if you can. Walk your hands back so you feel like maybe your hands or your fingertips are underneath your shoulders. And you could stay lifted here. You could begin to fold forward and down. And notice that this side might feel different than the last side. You might notice some sensation in the back of your leg or up into your hip, connecting into your breath. You can see there's a few people watching. That's so great. Hello. Nice to see people here. So happy that I can do this. I am an introvert, even though I'm outgoing, but this is the first time I've done something like this, and I was so nervous. Getting out of my comfort zone. Anyways, when you're ready, bringing that foot back, we're going to again make some movement here. Maybe some hip circles, shake out your leg. Again, you could walk it out in downward facing dog if you'd like. But coming back to child's pose again, maybe for about 4 breaths, connecting back to your breathing. And 2 more breaths here. And just as you're ready, coming to a seated position, we're going to do a few things on our seat here. So start with extending both legs forward. Actually, I'm going to turn to face you guys this way. So both feet forward. Let's keep our right leg extended. You could bring your left foot in if you like, or keep that leg extended as well. We're going to take a little bit of a twist and turn and forward fold. So if you're comfortable to bring your fingertips beside you, lengthen up here, turn your body towards your extended leg, maybe begin to lean forward. And if you're leaning forward quite a bit, you could bring your hands forward. You could grab a hold of your leg even and fold in a bit more. If you're feeling quite rounded through your spine, you can keep your hands behind you and begin to lean in. And if it's comfortable, you can release your chin towards your chest and take a couple more full breaths here. You can exhale through your mouth if you need to, clear it out. Try to relax into your shoulders. Last breath here. And begin to rise and come up, and we're going to switch sides. And same thing here, lengthening through your spine first, turning towards your extended leg, and as you root into your fingertips, lean forward a little bit. If you're leaning in quite a bit like I am here, you can bring your hands forward, maybe holding your leg, or hands on either side of your leg, and then begin to fold in. If it's comfortable, start to release your chin or draw your head so your gaze is down towards your leg. So sometimes we feel this through the back of our legs. Sometimes we start to feel this into our lower back if we're really tight. We're just going to take some deep breaths wherever it is that you feel that. And as you exhale, try to release and think of yourself letting go of some of that tension. Just 2 more breaths here. And 1 more breath. And when you're ready, rising to come up, extending both legs forward. You could windshield wiper your feet a few times from side to side, or you could place your feet on the ground and windshield wiper your knees a few times from side to side. Feels really nice sometimes in your lower back. It does for me. And before we come onto our backs here, bringing your feet together, knees wide. For some people, this isn't that comfortable. If it's not comfortable, place your feet a little bit further forward from your pelvis. And if you'd like, you can grab a hold of your shins or ankles and lengthen up here. Or again, you could lengthen up with your fingertips beside your hips and lean in a little bit. Or if your hands are forward, you can lean in a bit more, chin towards your chest. We're going to breathe into the back of our body. Just a few more breaths. Maybe notice if you can release your head a bit more, relax into your shoulders. If there's anywhere else in your body you're holding tension that you could breathe into. When you're ready, gently lifting yourself all the way back up. Bringing your knees back towards one another. And again, you can either extend your legs forward, release your feet from side to side, or place your feet on the ground a little bit wider and windshield wiper your knees a few times from side to side. And we're going to recline onto our backs. And so hopefully you can see me still, and hopefully your device is in a place that you can also see me here. We're going to come down onto our backs, and if it's comfortable, bring maybe one knee or both knees up into your chest and make a little bit of movement, maybe rock a little bit side to side, or you can make some gentle circles here. And as you're breathing, try to relax your lower back, but maybe even your shoulders, your upper back towards the floor, back of your head. So I'm going to try to use my voice as much as I can here, so you don't have to there's my cat. Crick your neck over to look at me, depending on where your device is. Hi, buddy. You're going to block the view, but that's okay. He's likes to be front and center here. Hi. Okay. So we're going to come into bridge pose, feet down on the ground, maybe elbows beside you or hands beside you. Draw your shoulder blades underneath you so you get a little bit of broadness across your chest. Begin to lift your hips up here. Scoot, scoot. There you go. And if you have the room, you could place your hands either underneath you or maybe interlace them. Draw your shoulder blades underneath you a bit more. As you press into your feet, your hips will lift up. Again, your hands can be parted. We're going to take a few deep breaths here. If it's okay, draw your chin slightly away from your chest so your chin's not crunching in towards your chest. Find a little length through the back of your neck. A couple more deep breaths here. And the next time you exhale, begin to bring your hips back down towards the ground. And if it's comfortable, again, both knees or one knee in towards your chest, and rock a little bit here, or just hug your knees into your chest. And then bring your right foot down to the ground. Take your left foot just on top of your right thigh. And we're going to come to figure 4. If you can flex your left toes towards your shin, it just will help to bring a little bit of support and stability to your knee. And then maybe bring your right knee in towards your chest. You can interlace your hands underneath. If you can't hold onto your knee here, you can't reach, you can keep your foot on the ground. Sometimes when I have blocks in a studio, or I have some blocks here, you may have a block, you can place something underneath your foot just to elevate it a little bit. But if you don't have any yoga props, it's totally cool. It can be here or here, and try to relax your shoulders again. And take a few more breaths here in figure 4. And as you're ready, releasing that out. Find a release that works for you. Sometimes I like to windshield wiper my legs. Right now I'm extending my legs forward and shaking out through my feet. But any release that works for you here, knees to chest, could also be an option. And I'm going to switch sides, right foot on top of your left leg. This side might feel different. You might keep your foot on the floor. You might be able to lift your knee up in towards your chest. Wherever it is that you are, try to relax through your shoulders here again and connect back into your breath. Just take a few more breaths here. And when you're ready, releasing that side. Again, finding a release that works for you. Could be knees to chest. Could be windshield wipering your knees from side to side, or extending your legs forward here. So we're going to come into happy baby pose, either with both knees or one knee at a time. If you're coming into half happy baby pose, you could bring your right knee towards your chest and move it a little wider to the side and hang out here, or you could go and grab your foot. So reach your arm through the inside of your knee, maybe reach for your ankle or the outer edge of your foot, and you could stay here, or you could bring your foot so that it's over top of your knee and your knee is drawing towards the floor. You could also do this with both legs, knees wide. Grab your feet, ankles. You can even grab underneath your knees for those of you that can't grab a hold of your feet or your ankles. So lots of options here to come into happy baby, either one leg at a time or both legs here. So we'll spend a few breaths, and then if you're on one side, I'll guide you to the other side. If you're doing both, you can stay a bit longer, or you can release when you need to. Couple more breaths, coming back to your breathing. If you had one side, then switch sides, and we'll spend maybe about 5 or 6 more breaths here. If you had full happy baby and you're kind of done, then just release. Come on out. Give yourself some shake out or windshield wipering through your legs. And just as you're ready, we're going to release both sides. Again, find a bit of a release here for yourself. Maybe windshield wipering, maybe giving yourself a full body stretch, and coming back to the center with both feet on the ground. We're going to come into a twist here. I like to move my hips to the opposite side that I'm going to move my knees for the twist. So you could move your hips to the left a little bit, bring your knees up and over towards the right. Both feet and knees down on the ground if you can. You could extend your arms out if you like, or you could hold your legs down with your hands. Looks like this on this side. Connecting into your breath. If it feels comfortable for you here to close your eyes, just draw your awareness inwards. Notice where you're feeling the twist in your body. Maybe it's in your lower back, maybe it's up in your shoulders a bit more. And breathing, finding a nice rhythm for your breath. Just a couple more breaths here. And then just as you're ready, making your way back up to the center. And taking that twist on the other side, bringing both knees over to the side, trying to rest them. If you can't rest them on the floor, if you have a pillow or a block or a cushion, you can place that underneath your bottom leg, or you can place the cushion or block between your knees. A little bit more support there. And again, if you can close your eyes and you feel comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do that and connect back to your breath. Let's take a few more breaths here. And then just taking your time as you're ready, moving back to the center, bringing your hips back into the middle of your mat if you move them, maybe bringing both knees into your chest for a bit of movement, rocking a little bit here. I'm going to take a big body stretch, extending my arms back, my toes forward, giving myself a big stretch. I'm going to spend a few breaths, maybe 5 or 6 breaths in bound angle posture. That's with your feet together and knees wide. We did this on our seat. Shoulder blades underneath you. Your arms can be wide or overhead, or maybe resting on your belly tonight. And use this opportunity to maybe find a little bit of peace, a little bit of serenity, a little bit of grounding. If it's not comfortable to have your feet together and your knees wide, you can extend out through your legs. And if you're comfortable to close your eyes here. Deepen through your breath. Allow the back of your body to settle towards the ground. I'm going to transition in after this posture. We're going to transition into Shavasana. So that is a resting pose. If you needed to put on a blanket or a sweater or some socks to keep yourself warm, then go ahead and do that. And we're going to spend about 5 minutes in Shavasana tonight. And this is an opportunity for you to just find some peace. If you find that your mind is really active and busy, find your way back to noticing your inhale and your exhale. So 5 minutes for Shavasana, and I'll guide us out. And at the very end of Shavasana, we'll just do a little touch base and before we finish up. So giving yourself this gift of this time, about 5 minutes here. Finding somewhere comfortable to lie. You can give yourself a clearing breath or two once you're settled in. And once you feel settled, closing your eyes if it's comfortable. deepen your breath. Make some gentle movements, maybe circling your ankles and your wrists, or wiggling your toes and your fingers. If you'd like to give yourself another full body stretch, reaching through your fingers and toes, or maybe bring your knees up into your chest for a moment. Before you come up to your seat, take a moment, roll to one side, take a couple deep breaths here. And just as you're ready, making your way back up to your seat. And as you come up to your seat, if you're comfortable to have your eyes closed, or you can soften your gaze. If you had one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly, you can switch hands or take both hands over your heart. And take a moment to take another few breaths, connect back into your body, back to your breath. Give yourself a couple deep breaths of gratitude for being here tonight, taking this time for yourself in a time that feels so uncertain, to come back to your body, come back to your breath, come back to this practice. And I'm so very grateful that you're all here, and I want to thank you all. And I will be back here again on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. I'm going to try another live class through Zoom or through Facebook. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste.